Ladies and gentlemen, Moses Kuria yesterday bumped into two very important individuals in this country, politically speaking. Moses Kuria bumped into Raila Odinga, and then 2 hours later, he bumped into Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And just like I keep on telling you on this platform, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. And that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happened for the sake of it. And let me tell you one thing. If Raila Odinga didn't want to meet Moses Kuria, even if they shared a room, we would not have seen those photos. If Moses Kuria didn't want to share his encounter with Kalonzo Musyoka, I can assure you those photos would not have emerged. Have you asked yourself why it's only Moses Kuria who shared the encounter? This is what Moses Kuria posted, because in this video, I want to shock you with the reasons why Moses Kuria shared those photos. This is what he captioned his encounter with Raila Odinga. Bumped into my good friend. Then there's that handshake emoji there. And then 2 hours later, bumped into yet another buddy, Kalonzo. Now, Yoku Gotea. Now, if you look at Raila Odinga's encounter with Moses Kuria, it's actually outdoor. Maybe both of them, they're actually at the airport. I think Raila Odinga either was boarding, Moses Kuria was leaving, or Moses Kuria was leaving, Raila Odinga was boarding. But I can see, is that, no, this is Moses Kuria's vehicle. This is not Raila, no, this is Raila Odinga's vehicle. Yes. So I think Raila Odinga was boarding. And for Kalonzo, their encounter is actually in some, I think, VIP section of the airport. And you can see them there, which begs several questions. The first question, where was Moses Kuria going to? Of course, we know yesterday there was it yesterday or yesterday, but one, there was cabinet meeting in Mombasa, I think yesterday. So Moses Kuria attended that meeting. So I want to assume that he either met Raila Odinga when Raila Odinga was heading to Mombasa, or when Raila Odinga was coming back from, Raila Odinga was actually headed to Mombasa. Whether Raila Odinga had just arrived in Mombasa or something like that. So the question is, where was Moses Kuria going? Was he coming to Nairobi? Was he going to Mombasa? The second question is, where was Raila Odinga going? Of course, from what we know, Raila Odinga was actually going to Mombasa for that Luo cultural event that is taking place today. Then the question is, where was Kalonzo going? Or where was the meeting with Kalonzo? And was these meetings, this encounter, different places? Nairobi, Mombasa, or all of them Mombasa, or all of them Nairobi? And was Raila Odinga with Kalonzo Musyoka during this encounter? Of course, Raila Odinga was still outdoor. Kalonzo Musyoka and Moses Kuria were indoor. So the question is, was Kalonzo and Raila together? And why would Moses Kuria meet them and share the photos? That's exactly what I want to try and analyze in this particular video, because in politics, nothing just happened for the sake of it. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. Why do you think Moses Kuria met with Kalonzo and met with Raila? Or what was his objective of sharing those encounters? Because if it's a matter of meeting, rest assured, these guys always meet. They always meet. Why do you think Moses Kuria decided to share the encounter? Number one, in my view, and someone also shared the same thought. I saw someone also shared the same thought. Actually, my friend Ngige shared with me the same thought which he had picked from someone. For me, I think there is a scramble for Uhuru Kenyatta. For those who follow the politics of this country very closely, a few weeks ago, Rigathi Gachagua explained to Kenyans why he really wanted to meet Uhuru Kenyatta. And according to information we have, Uhuru Kenyatta actually declined the invitation to meet with Rigathi Gachagua.
From where I sit, my boss, President William Ruto, and I, the elections are over, and we want all Kenyans to be one team, to be one people for the development of this country. This region, during the last election, we were divided to a certain extent. 87% voted for President William Ruto and I, 13% exercised their democratic right as it should be and voted the other way. But now elections are over. I have on record inviting the 13% to come we work together for our region, for our country. Because there is no enmity, there is no quarrel, there is nothing. The election is just like a sport, and you shouldn't take it beyond there.
And now, Moses Kuria, in my view, is following a different path. You know, Uhuru Kenyatta supported Raila Odinga. Uhuru Kenyatta was with Kalonzo Musyoka. And of course, we know how politics play out in the Republic of Kenya. I think Moses Kuria is trying to reach Uhuru Kenyatta by associating with Raila Odinga and with Kalonzo Musyoka. So that if Raila and Uhuru were to meet today and talk politics, Uhuru would definitely ask them, what was Moses Kuria telling you? And definitely, you know, Moses Kuria is a former member of parliament for Gatundu South. Another used to be a close ally. In fact, if there's anything which can describe political betrayal, in my view, I think I never expected Moses Kuria to leave or to dump Uhuru Kenyatta because of the way Uhuru Kenyatta even campaigned for him when he was elected as member of parliament and opposed during that by-election. So if, in my view, I'm 100% convinced that all these are geared towards reaching out to Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's why there's a gentleman here, Onyango Okello. He made some interesting posts on Twitter. This is what he's saying. In less than an hour, Moses Kuria has bumped into the two most important Azimio principles, Baba Raila and Honorable Kalonzo. There are no coincidences in politics because things don't just happen in political space. Of course, that's a song I always sing on this platform. And Moses Kuria cannot just bump into Azimio leaders without proper planning. Of course, there's that bumping where Raila, you know, wamejikuta kwa ndege, but there is no way Moses Kuria can meet Raila, then Moses Kuria meets Kalonzo just like that, the two of them, and he takes photos with them just like that. So he's saying, this guy is proceeding here, that we are experiencing high voltage central Kenya politics. There seems to be a rush between Gachagua and Kuria on who will get Uhuru first. My money is on Kuria. That is what he's saying here. And of course, based on this strategy alone, it simply means that if Uhuru were to decide between Moses Kuria and Rigathi Gachagua, who do you think Uhuru would pick? If he had only those two options. So it's about Mount Kenya politics and the scramble for Uhuru Kenyatta. I think you've enjoyed that bit of politics. And that's why if you are not yet subscribed, you need to subscribe to this channel, because what we analyze, you can't find any other place. So I know you've watched these videos enough without subscribing. Please press that subscribe button. And again, you can also support the channel using those numbers you are seeing on your screen. Number two, why Moses Kuria bumped into Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, if you ask me, is Moses Kuria's strategy to align himself with Azimio. And he's doing this for strategic reasons. You know, at some point, there were stories in this Republic of Kenya that Moses Kuria had fallen out with Rigathi Gachagua. He was under a lot of pressure and he was going to be kicked out of cabinet. And when William Ruto made the reshuffle, what happened was that Moses Kuria was left alone. He was only transferred from the Ministry of Trade to the Ministry of public service. That's what happened. And by the time Moses Kuria was being reshuffled to another ministry, he had started leaning in quotes towards Azimio. Remember, he was launching those industrial parks across the country. But by that time, he was focusing more on Azimio strongholds. And that was not sitting well with some leaders, especially Rigathi Gachagua. Because Rigathi Gachagua believes in in shareholding. So why do you think Moses Kuria is trying so hard to strategically align himself with Azimio? He's using that to shield himself. So that if, for example, you want to kick him out, then you figure out, he's telling you indirectly that he has options. I can work with Raila, I can work with Kalonzo, I don't have any problem with them. Tell me any other cabinet minister who can dare do what Moses Kuria has done. That's he meets with Raila Odinga at the airport, then he takes photo and share. Tell me one. None of them. None of them. Number 3, bipartisan talks. In fact, for those who've been following the bipartisan talks, there's a direction that talk is taking. Initially, Rigathi Gachagua was that talk should not proceed, and he used to challenge Ruto in Mount Kenya. When Rigathi Gachagua was doing that, those who were keen, Musalia Mudavadi was really in support of the bipartisan talks. As fate would have it, the bipartisan talks is pushing on well. In fact, I was just reviewing the photos from the bipartisan talks, which are normally shared by Kalonzo Musyoka on his Facebook page. And you can tell from the body language of Kalonzo Musyoka, the body language of the team, including his co-chair, Kimani Ichung'wah, you can clearly tell that those guys are just, I think they've bonded really well. So which means there's a direction that the bipartisan talks are taking. And from what I can observe is that the bipartisan talks can actually lead to a working relationship between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. So Moses Kuria anatangulia tu. He's a smart politician. I've always told you that, despite the fact that he has a lot of weaknesses. Moses Kuria is always very smart. So for me, I think it's about the bipartisan talks. Number 4, Moses Kuria is also trying to contrast Rigathi Gachagua at each and every point. Rigathi Gachagua is opposed to bipartisan talks. Moses Kuria is supporting bipartisan talks. Rigathi Gachagua is on the side of people who are impeaching Kawira. Moses Kuria is supporting Kawira. Rigathi Gachagua is not for Raila and Kalonzo. Moses Kuria is now for them. So basically, at every stage, Moses Kuria is trying to contrast or to contradict, for that matter, Rigathi Gachagua. And lastly, if you ask me, I'm also looking at it as Moses Kuria's strategy post 2027. You see, currently Moses Kuria is a cabinet secretary. William Ruto will go for election again, and let's assume he's re-elected. Would he appoint Moses Kuria again? Okay, let's assume he reappoints Moses Kuria as a cabinet. Do you think Moses Kuria would be comfortable there? The next stage for Moses Kuria would be to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. So what Moses Kuria is trying to do is trying to be friendly to both Azimio supporters and Kenya Kwanza supporters for his politics. Unlike Rigathi Gachagua, who is just trying to please the Kikuyus. And that's why when he was in Bondo, Moses Kuria made that remark, which I want to replay it for you guys here. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.